starters, what are your thoughts on Phillip Rivers and just what makes him so unique?
I think he is unique. I think his throwing motion is unique. The way he kind of commands the offense, gets them set up, and kind of sees what the defense is in and tries to check into situations that he'll have an advantage in is unique. He's going to be a future Hall of Fame quarterback, so it's another guy we really got to bring our A game against.
How much of a chance? Go ahead, Mary.
I was going to say it's a lot of future Hall of Famers in the first part of the season here, right?
Yep, I think we've had a few. We've had a little gauntlet of them. We just got to keep playing well and doing our best against them.
How much did his checks last year cause you problems?
They were pretty good. He did a good job. A lot of times just calling out our coverage that we were in before the snap, and so we just got to do a better job bogeying and disguising, making it harder for him to do that. I think being at home this year, where it'll be harder for him to make checks if we have a loud crowd, will be an advantage to us, and it'll be harder for them to change every single play to be perfectly what they want. So I think that's a little, hopefully, advantage that we'll have this year over last year.
Are you calling your coverages?
Yeah, when you could see him sometimes.
How often, like a dozen times?
I don't remember exactly. I can recall him doing it sometimes, yeah.
And then do you guys check out of it right away? Or?
It depends on what we're in, or if we still feel we're in a good leverage situation. I think we still played a good game overall, mostly against them, kept them out of the end zone quite a bit. So,
Are you noticing that you guys are developing that home field advantage now that you've won a couple of games as opposed to maybe past years?
yeah, definitely. I think when I have to look over the sideline for signals instead of getting the headset communication on defense all the time, it definitely has an added advantage. Just a loud crowd, everybody there, the energy that's just in the stadium's definitely been a little bit uptick this year.
So will it be a chess match then between you and Phillip a little bit to kind of match wits in terms of?
I wouldn't say so much of a chess match, 'cause you can't really get caught up in that too much and try to be perfect every play, because then you'll end up being a little too slow on just the base fundamental things that you should do. So I think there's in certain situations you can use it to your advantage if you can hear or determine things. Otherwise, you just got to go out there and play football and trust that your one-on-one matchups are going to win.
What's the danger in their running game?
Huh?
The danger in their running game?
I think both their backs, Melvin and Eckler, they're both talented runners. Both bring two different things to the table. Whereas Melvin's a bigger guy, he's got great balance, he's a little strong, and then Eckler's just slippery inside the box. He can make a lot of people miss, and I think people take him too lightly when they try to tackle him, because you see him breaking a lot of tackles out there on film. So they'll both present challenges.
I know you faced Marshawn, but is Gordon the best back you guys have faced so far?
I guess we'll see. I know when we played Marshawn, it was definitely a challenge, and just watching on film and going against Melvin in college and even high school, for me personally, I know what he's capable of, and he's just got great acceleration and great balance and vision. So just being able to everybody play their gaps, not give them open creases, and get population to the ball, I think we should be fine.
When you played him in high school, did you know he was going to be a big-time NFL guy?
Oh yeah, I think that was his senior year, so he already had a lot of college offers and stuff. And I mean, as long as you stay healthy, you knew he'd be special.
Joe, when you see Denzel Ward each week playing against the best receiver on the opponent, making plays there, and then blocking the field goal like he did, how do you react to that? To have a teammate like that on defense now?
It's obviously huge for our defense, just having a corner out there who can make plays on the ball, who can stop the other team's best receiver from making consistent plays down the field. And then obviously is blocking the points on the field goal, help us stay in the game and eventually get to overtime and win the game. So it's just nice to know that he's out there. If we're getting pressure, if we're making the quarterback throw the ball up, he's got as good of a chance of coming down with it as the guy he's covering.
The fact that he's a rookie just in his fifth game, is that extra impressive to you that he's able to do all that?
Yeah, whenever a rookie comes into the NFL and can just contribute right away on defense or offense is impressive. I think to me, just the change in philosophy, attitude, game plan from college to the NFL is totally different. So if you can come in and just even play, it's impressive. So what he's doing is pretty impressive.
I know every game takes its toll. How much harder are the overtime games and having three of them when you're playing every snap?
Yeah, I think you don't really think about it, but I definitely feel this last week towards the end of the game and overtime and stuff, you could feel it kind of building up on your legs and just your fatigue out there. It seems like you tire out a little faster, just respiratory-wise, in the 90th play than when you're only playing 60 plays a game. So definitely is taking a lot of stuff, but I think everybody's done a good job with recovery, getting the rest they needed, especially coming back from a long road trip last weekend on the back of an overtime to play another overtime game. it had that added weight. But I think we've done a good job, and everybody's got some recovery, got some lifts in, so we should be all ready to go.
Like, will you do any less this week than you would during a normal week?
No, it'll be same game plan, same schedule.
Hey, one more on Rivers. When he makes those calls, was he usually right? Or do you just not remember the times he was wrong?
I think I just remember when he was right. I mean, he doesn't do it every time because maybe if he thinks he's got us and he doesn't want to tip it that he knows a coverage. But I think sometimes he just tries to do it to offset a defense or make people think. If he's wrong, he's wrong. If he's right, he's right. I just remember him trying to call out coverages quite a few times.
In your first 2 years, obviously, you didn't win a bunch. How much fun is it getting off to the start that you guys have gotten off to?
Yeah, it's fun, but it's also a little disappointing because I feel like we should have won more games. And you remember the games you won, but I think as a competitor, you just remember the things you should have done better in the games that you didn't win that could have improved our standing. Like we could easily be 5-0 every single game we played. You could look at things on offense, defense, and special teams that if we just made one more play here that we know we can make in that kind of situation, the game could have turned out differently for us. So.
Is that a shock to you? The fact that the turnaround can be as stark as it is? I mean, 1-15, 0-16 to theoretically could be 5-0.
Yeah, I think so. But I think everybody in this locker room, the talent we brought in, the people, how everybody's gelled, that's kind of what we expected coming into the year, just to be a competitive team, to be able to win a lot of games and put ourselves in situations if we worked hard and competed, and that's what we've done. And like I said, obviously we feel good winning games because we haven't done that here a lot, but we also don't feel as great as we could because we know we gave a couple away.
Does that make you guys want to scratch and claw and fight even harder to know that you really should be 4-1 or 5-0 right now, and you guys seem competitive enough to be in the conversation and to be a contender this year? Does it make you just want it that much more over these next few?
Yeah, I would say so, especially with our games we've had so far in our division, just to be like the number one goal every offseason you come is to be the AFC North Division champions. So to come in and play against the two teams we've played against so far, and we obviously didn't win the first game, but we didn't lose that one either. So I think we put ourselves in a good situation that way, and you can just see that it's achievable, and everybody in the locker room knows that. So the effort and attitude you put in during the week with preparation just to kind of start stacking these wins, which we haven't done this year yet, to kind of build towards hopefully winning an AFC North Division championship is definitely a main driver for a lot of people.
How much do you guys talk about this division title, playoffs? How much do you actually talk about that amongst yourselves?
I think it comes up here and there, but I think for the majority of guys, it's a week-by-week basis. You just got to look at the guys right ahead of you, and then when you have a division opponent, like you say the game counts for two, so you know it's that much more important because you win the game, you get an overall just record, win on your record, and then you also get the division win, they lost in your division, so you get kind of 2 games on them when you beat them. So I think in those weeks it's especially ramped up, but I think a lot of guys do a good job of just taking it one game at a time. You can't get too far ahead because then the next guys in front of you will make you lose. So.
Have you caught yourself looking at the standings?
No, not really. I mean, obviously you see stuff just being in the team. We know where our opponents are, where their record's at. We know what our division is, but I don't think people have gotten too caught up in just trying to see who you compare to, because the NFL, a lot of games this year have been this way and that, with undefeated teams and 1-win teams or 0-win teams blowing out other guys. So it's just a lot of disparity. So you really can't get caught up in that. You just got to focus on you and your next opponent.
Do you feel like you've already set the tone as a defense, that you guys are one of the best defenses in the NFL this season?
I think we've started to. Obviously, to be the best defense in the NFL or one of the best defenses in the NFL for the season, you have to do it over the course of the whole season. So I think we've definitely taken steps in the right direction, and we've proven to ourselves that it's achievable. We just got to keep stacking chips and working for it.
Demarius Randall said this is the most talented defense he's been on by far. And obviously, where he's coming from, he's been on some good teams.
Mm-hmm.
You realize that the talent level is as high as it is for someone like him to be able to say that right off the bat? Or?
I mean, this is the only place I've ever been, so I can't really judge compared to other teams. I haven't worked with any other whole defenses or anything, but I mean, when you got a guy who comes in and you trust Demarius, knows what he's talking about, and you've had other guys, Jamie Collins, people say that we got a lot of talent here. We just got to learn how to win, work together as a team, and take those steps. And I think this year we've started to do that.
So the talent is one thing, but obviously it's about how the pieces fit.
Mm-hmm.
Everything works together.
Yep.
So how vital has it been for Greg's system to be here a second year, the whole staff? I mean, has that been a big part of all this working together?
Yeah, the consistency is huge. Just coming into training camp and already having a base knowledge of the defense from the year before and not worrying about just making the correct calls or getting your correct assignment every play. You just get the call, you know what you're supposed to do, and you can just focus on what you need to do better and how you can improve. I think that's the biggest change, and the consistency is huge. You're not relearning everything. You're not learning new verbiage. You're not getting confused with other stuff that you've maybe had in the past. So that's been a key factor so far this year.
Having Denzel in the secondary doing what he's been able to do in these first 5 games, you know, as a rookie, just what has that done for you guys collectively as a unit, and how much does he help you do your job?
Yeah, I think you trust him to go out there and make plays. I think all of our cornerbacks, T. Mitch, when he was healthy, did the same thing. Demarius over the top, trust him to go out there, make plays on the ball, and have big-time impact on the game. And you can't really let what they're doing get too much into your head. If they make a mistake and you have to run 40 yards down the field to play the next play, you can't get upset because that happened. And similarly, you can feed off it when they do make the big plays, the interceptions, you guys get off the field. And just having guys like Miles and Larry rush the passer and make quarterbacks hurry their process up a little bit. Denzel, Demarius, poaching off the quarterback in the secondary and getting a lot of takeaways. I think overall as a whole unit, everybody feeds off everybody. So have more talent in any one position is definitely going to help.
You feel like just as a unit, it seems like you're playing the old cliche complementary football with each other. The front seven's doing their thing, the secondary's doing theirs. Is that pretty much an accurate description of what you guys have been able to accomplish on that side of the ball right now?
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I think as football is a complementary game from offense to defense and special teams, and then even within the defense and the structure, a good pass rush helps the secondary, a good secondary helps the pass rush. So as a unit, I think we've been doing a good job.
Did you see Larry's, obviously he's had a breakout start to the season. Did you see signs of this last year, or is it come as, I mean, he was obviously established himself at the kind of level that he's had, pass rushing, just being a good defensive lineman. They catch it, some guys a little bit by surprise?
Yeah, I think you could definitely see last year that he could be something special. He had a lot of talent, and like I said, coming into the league as a rookie is a huge wake-up call for everybody, no matter how good you are. And the biggest jump a lot of people take is from their first year to the second year. So I think we are all expecting big things from him, and the way he works in the offseason, the way he works in the weight room, I think this isn't something that came as super unexpected. So it's just good to see him out there doing what we know he can do.
So obviously the defense is playing well, but we know how important quarterback is. Just how much belief has Mayfield given you guys that you guys can do really good things week in, week out?
Yeah, I mean, just having him back there, you know, if he throws an interception or something happens, or he gets sacked and fumbles the ball, he's not going to take that on to the next play. And I think as a whole team, that's kind of the mentality we've been growing and establishing this year. You just can't let the last play affect the next play. You come out there and do what you know you're capable of, and you can see that week after week. He comes in the game. If he makes a mistake, he comes back right after it and makes some good play, drives the ball down the field, and our offense has been able to score. So I think it's just gone hand in hand with how the defense has progressed this year, and it's good overall for the team.